I am a 68-year-old retired veteran, and 3 months ago I checked my bank account, and there was a deposit I did not recognize. It was not my regular VA check. It was a lump sum. Tens of thousands of dollars sitting in my account from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. No letter warning me it was coming, no phone call. It just appeared. And when I finally understood what it was, I sat at my kitchen table and felt two things at the same time: relief that the money was there, and anger that it had taken this long. My name is Frank. I am a retired veteran, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened because I know there are veterans watching this right now who are owed the same thing and do not even know it. Before I keep going, I put together a guide called the Veterans Money Guide. Plain English, covering every benefit the VA never volunteers, the exact forms, the deadlines, and the steps to claim what you are owed. Link is in the description. If one page puts money back in your pocket, it paid for itself. Now let me get back to it. Let me go back to where this started. I filed my first VA disability claim years ago. I had a knee that was destroyed during my service, hearing loss from years of noise exposure, and a shoulder injury that never healed. The VA rated me at 50%. I did not love it, but I accepted it. I figured the VA knew what they were doing, and if 50 was the number, then 50 was the number. I moved on with my life, took the monthly check, and never looked at it again. That was the most expensive mistake I have ever made. What I did not understand at the time is that the VA does not rate you based on how bad you feel. They rate you based on what is documented in your medical records at the moment they review your file. And when I filed that original claim, my records were thin. I had not been going to the doctor regularly. I had not been describing my symptoms in detail. I had not been documenting how my conditions affected my daily life. So the VA looked at what was in front of them and gave me a number based on incomplete information. That number stuck for years. About 2 years ago, my wife pushed me to see a veteran service officer at our county office. Free appointment. She had heard from a friend whose husband had gotten his rating increased, and she would not let it go until I went. I am glad she did not. That service officer sat with me for over an hour. He pulled up my rating decision letter, went through my conditions one by one, and asked me questions nobody had ever asked before. How far can you actually walk before your knee gives out? Can you raise your arm above your shoulder? Do you have trouble sleeping because of pain? Have your conditions gotten worse since the VA last looked at your file? The answer to almost every question was yes. My knee was worse. My shoulder had deteriorated. I had developed ringing in my ears that was constant and maddening. And on top of all that, I had been dealing with depression and anxiety that I had never filed for because I did not realize they were connected to the chronic pain from my service-connected injuries. The service officer told me something that changed everything. He said I could file a supplemental claim with new medical evidence showing my conditions had worsened, and I could also file for secondary conditions that were caused by my existing service-connected disabilities. He said there was no deadline for doing this and no limit on how many times I could ask the VA to look again. So I did. I went to my doctor's VA in private and got current examinations. I got nexus letters, which are written medical opinions stating that my secondary conditions were at least as likely as not caused by my primary service-connected injuries. The depression linked to chronic pain, the anxiety linked to years of limited mobility and isolation. The worsening of my knee and shoulder documented with imaging and range of motion tests. I filed everything through the veteran service officer who helped me organize it and submit it correctly. Then I waited. It took months. I will not pretend otherwise. The VA is not fast. But when the decision finally came back, my combined rating went from 50% to 80%. And here is the part most veterans do not understand. The VA did not just start paying me at the new rate going forward. They owed me the difference going back to my effective date. That effective date was the day I filed my supplemental claim. Every single month between that filing date and the date they finally made their decision, the VA owed me the gap between what I had been receiving at 50% and what I should have been receiving at 80%. That gap added up month by month, and the VA paid it all at once in a single lump sum deposit. Let me put real numbers on this so you understand what is at stake. In 2026, a single veteran rated at 50% receives about $1,133 a month. A single veteran rated at 80% receives about $2,000 a month. That is a difference of roughly $867 every single month. My claim took about 20 months from the date I filed the supplemental to the date the VA made its decision. 20 months multiplied by $867 per month. That is over $17,000 in back pay. One deposit, tax-free. Money that was mine the entire time I was waiting. And here is what haunts me. If I had filed that supplemental claim 5 years earlier, the back pay window would have started 5 years earlier. Not because the VA would have owed me for the years I sat at the wrong rating without filing. That is not how it works. The effective date is based on when you actually file, not when your conditions got worse. So every year I waited to refile was a year of higher payments I permanently lost. The VA does not go back and fix a rating you never challenged. The clock only starts when you put something on paper. There is one more thing I want every veteran watching this to understand about back pay, because it is the detail that gets missed the most. The VA calculates your back pay month by month using the compensation rates that were in effect during each specific month. If your back pay window stretches across 2 or 3 years, the VA applies the rate from each year, including any cost of living adjustments that happen during that period. This means your lump sum is not just one flat number multiplied across the board. It is a precise calculation that accounts for every rate change along the way. And if the VA gets that calculation wrong, which does happen, you have the right to challenge it. So let me ask you directly, how long have you been sitting at a rating you accepted years ago without questioning it? Have your conditions gotten worse since the last time the VA looked at your file? Are you dealing with problems you never filed for because you did not know they were connected? Because if the answer is yes, then right now, today, there is a version of you 6 months from now who either filed a supplemental claim and started the clock on a back pay window, or who did nothing and let another 6 months of money disappear. Go to your county veteran service office. Contact the DAV, the VFW, or the American Legion. Sit down with a free accredited veteran service officer and bring your rating decision letter. Let them look at what you have and tell you what you are missing. Do not pay anyone a percentage of your back pay to do this work. The best help is free, and it is waiting for you. I left money on the table for years because I thought my rating was final. It was not. No rating is final if your body is still getting worse, or if conditions you never claimed are connected to the ones already on your file. The VA will not call you and tell you to refile. That call is never coming. You have to make the first move. Share this with a veteran you know who has been sitting at the same number for too long. That deposit I got 3 months ago changed my life, but it should have been in my account years earlier. Do not make the same mistake I did.